Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, head market trader. And before we begin, let's go ahead and review our risk disclosure. Okay. Just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice, an offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security or fund. We all understand that the use of this information is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital, money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle, should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation, an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, so now that we've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way, let's go ahead and begin our review here with the news portal here. Okay, let's take a look and see what news do we have in the horizon that could impact the markets here. Okay, so we've already had a report here on U.S. retail sales month over month. Okay, they came in, I guess, slightly worse than forecast here. We have U.S. core retail sales, U.S. import prices, and then later later this morning and into the afternoon, we have industrial production month over month, capacity utilization at 9:15 Eastern, and then we have NAHB housing market index, business inventories coming in at 10 a.m. And then we have the TIPS, a high yield bond, reporting here at 1 p.m. Okay, so a fair amount of news has already been published, already in the markets. We have another, I guess, impactful news event coming up here at 9:15. Okay, and then kind of looking ahead here a little bit. Tomorrow we have housing, jobless claims, building permits, EIA, crude oil inventories, and I would say the granddaddy of all reports, the FOMC. Okay, and any sort of U.S. interest rate decisions could have a very significant impact on the general direction of the markets. Okay, so now that we've gotten through the news, we'll go ahead and take a look and begin to look at the charts here. So let's go ahead and open up the charts here. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so we'll start here, share again, and open up the charting platform and share our charts. So can move this down here. Okay. All right. So I have a chart of silver, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the gold market here in a moment. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll look at the gold, followed by the crude oil, and then the equities. Okay. So let's go ahead and remove some of our drawings. Let's go ahead and open up the daily chart and see what the daily chart is telling us here. Okay, so the daily chart is basically telling us that we are continuing in this kind of range environment. Okay, in the gold market, we made an attempt here to get to all-time highs here around 3,500. Okay, maybe just a shade under 35. Yeah, 3,500, and it's been rejected. Okay, so we had a rather bearish day in the markets yesterday. And then we've opened below the daily range from yesterday. Okay. However, we continue to remain in some sort of range price action. Okay. The momentum to the upside has obviously significantly slowed. Okay, since late April up until now, and we just continue to be in some sort of consolidation pattern. Whether this is an ascending triangle to the ascending triangle, okay, just kind of what I'm seeing here. Okay, could be this kind of pattern. All right, and we're coming into sort of the apex of this pattern that could result in some sort of significant move in this market. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, you can see that I'm going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range here for a moment here. Okay, um, so we're going to look at this a little bit with a little bit more detail here. Okay, so you can see here that there's a fair amount of selling. There's even not much in the way of activity or actually direction um, during Monday's session. Okay, we were pretty much in range kind of price action. Okay, but leading up to that range price action, we had a rather significant move to the downside. Okay, we have not reacted away from this demand area. Okay, on the contrary, it looks like we've kind of are beginning to build up some more momentum. Okay, for a potential move to the downside. Okay, now the logical area for this to go price wise would be this area down below. I'm going to go ahead and draw a little bit of a volume profile down below just to get in a sense of which high volume area is going to maybe attract price. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and identify this level here. That is 32. Is that 3250? I believe here does appear to be yeah, 3350 does appear to be that area that price could potentially head to. Okay, assuming that we can close below this area of demand, it appears that we are building some structure to drive price down to this 3360 level. We obviously have 3400 in its path. Okay, I would expect that 3400 is a psychological number that also could cause price to stall. Okay, we actually tested that level up above and kind of reversed away from it, but we remain in this range. All right, moving down to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart again, you can see in much more detail the fact that we have been in range since the start of the Monday session. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. You can see that price is below our value area. Okay, so that folks are willing to pay a premium to participate in the downside move in this market. Okay, opening up our fixed range volume profile for yesterday's session here. So we're going to go ahead and start with the 830 bar, move our way across to the 430 bar. Okay, and you can see that price remains on the lower end of this range. Okay, now the question becomes, is this going to be the set of candles, or that potentially could lead us to a downside move, or are we going to continue? Since we do have the rate decision coming up here tomorrow, right? Whether we are going to remain in some sort of tight range until that news event takes place. That is quite possible. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the initial balance here. Let's see if I can locate my initial balance tool here. We're going to go ahead and open that up, and we're going to go ahead and open it not for Asia but for the US session. Okay, so here's our initial balance range. You can see that we're forming a very tight initial balance range so far. Okay, on the lower end of value here. Okay, so let's go ahead now and take a look at the anchor VWAP, see what kind of visibility, what the London market participants were able to do with price. Okay, so you can see here that price is currently below, right, our daily VWAP and our anchor VWAP. Okay, indicating there's a fair amount of pressure to continue downside move in this market. We're inside some bearish structure here to the downside. Okay, so heading into the session, I would say right now that I would be looking for maybe a potential move, maybe down to the lows. Okay, the lows of the market here around what is it? Looks like about 33.94. Okay, that looks like maybe kind of the path of least resistance at the moment. We currently have price below both our anchored and our daily VWAP. We're going to go ahead and open up our ASR here just to see. Actually, the ASR is open. Let's go ahead and open that up for London, okay, and see where we are in relation to the average session range. So the average session range failed to, during the London session so far, has failed to reach either extreme of this average session range, okay? So there's a fair amount of, I would say, distance to get to target-wise. 33.82 would be the statistical range for price to potentially move to. We have to understand that, you know, we have been in this kind of range, kind of price action, and there is no reason to think that we can't otherwise continue in this kind of range, especially given the fact that we have the FOMC minute and coming up here. We can remain in this tight range until that news event. Okay, so headed into this session, I would say that you know, we are in range from yesterday's session, and we could remain in range. I would say that we're probably neutral, bearish to neutral in this market. Okay. If I'm going to be waiting to see if I can get some more information from this market, probably a market that I want to be a little bit careful with, especially if I'm going to be looking for a trending move. We are seeing evidence that we could remain in some sort of consolidation. So my focus is going to be on the extremes of the range here, the extremes of range are where I'm going to be focusing my attention on for participating in this market. All right. So we'll let price kind of continue to develop here. We're going to go ahead now and move on to the crude oil market. Okay, crude oil. All right. So we're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily chart. Okay, so daily chart. So we had, you know, I guess the beginnings of maybe a 3-bar reversal pattern. Okay, in this market, we had a push higher, a strong bearish candle, and then followed by a bullish candle here. Okay, so but we have not made any. This candle has not made any inroads in the candle that closed yesterday, at least until now. Okay. So right now, again, similar to what we were seeing, if we're just looking at these series of candles, you would say that we're starting to develop maybe some structure here to the upside. Okay, as we get some additional context, you can see that price has broken some structure here to the left-hand side. Okay, price has broken structure here, broken to the upside here, and now kind of reversed away from this area up above. Okay, we got to as high as 77, 77.50 before price kind of reversed back to the down a bearish direction. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, you can see that we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance range. You can see that you know, of late we've been bullish. Okay, right? We've started to develop some higher highs and higher lows. Okay. We got to this 70, close to this 78 level, 77 and a half, and found some sellers. Okay. So now we are in some sort of what appears to be some sort of bearish structure here. Okay. Price has broken this area of support, has come down to this area down below here around 69, and has developed maybe a little bit of a demand zone at this 69 level. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that demand level. Right, you can see that price has not made it inside this area, indicating that there's a fair amount of interest in participating to the bullish direction in this area. Okay, we're starting to see some development of candles here. We got a rejection candle. Let's go ahead and maybe zoom into this a little bit further just to get a good, clear picture of this. Okay, so you can see that price made it down to this level, reacted away from this area, and now we have price above our VWAP and starting to beginning to break some structure here to the upside that could lead maybe lead price back to the highs of maybe Sunday. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead now and move down to the 30-minute chart here. Okay. So you can see that we've broken to the top side here of our average session range. Here, I'm going to double confirm that it is a London range. So price has exceeded the range here, and now this 70.93 level is serving as kind of a level of support here. Okay, in this market, we do have to understand that we are coming into an area that has been resistant in the past. The 72 level, okay, has been resistant. So we will have to kind of mark this level until it's broken and we hold above it. Okay. So right now we have a developing bullish candle above our ASR high. Okay. Above our ASR high and above our VWAP, indicating that maybe there is some interest in taking this market higher. Okay. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. If assuming that we can get above this 72 level, I think that we have a fair opportunity here to for a bullish move in this market. Okay, looking at let's say the fixed range volume profile here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at where price is in relation to yesterday's price action here. So this is Tuesday. So we'll go ahead and take this back to Monday, right about here. Okay, we'll drag that across to the close of yesterday's session here. Okay, so you can see right now we are inside value. Okay, indicating that we are in some sort of balanced kind of price action. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mark this area above this value area high from yesterday as maybe another area of some resistance, okay, to price just above this 72 level. Okay, assuming that we can get above this level, this value area high could serve as another area of reference level for further price action to the upside. Okay, if we are unable to get above say 72 or this 72.30 level, then that could open the door, okay, for maybe a potential move to the downside. I do see that we are, although we are in some sort of bullish kind of swing, I do see that we are coming up on some areas that could find some sellers here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up the initial balance range. You can see that we are, I would say, in a relatively normal range at this point. We have a developing bullish candle with buying wicks below. We're going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP to this discussion here to the bottom of the start of London here. So right about here. So you can see that during the London session that there's a fair amount of I guess bullish participation in this market. Price remains above our anchor VWAP and above our daily VWAP, indicating that there is a fair amount of interest here to the upside. Okay, we have already broken our average session range to the upside. Okay, indicating that and we have kind of ingredients possibly for maybe a sustained move. Okay, to the upside in this market. Okay, so we have our demand zones here around the 69.50 level. We've tested that. Price has not managed to close inside, and now we're starting to see some price action that would indicate that maybe that we could be in store for maybe a continued bullish move in this market. Okay, all right. I was going to pause here for a moment before we move on to the equities. Again, just wanted to kind of encourage everyone to continue to hit the subscribe and like buttons, comment if this analysis continues to support you in your analysis of the markets as these kind of videos make themselves available up on the portal here. Okay, so let's go ahead now and start in on the equity markets. Okay, so looking at the equities, we're going to go ahead and start with the daily chart here. Okay, so you can see that we are on the top end of the range. Okay, starting to see a little bit of a slowdown in price movement as we approach the highs here. Okay, so we see that we have the top end of the range here around let's call it 22,000. Let's call it 22,300, somewhere in that range. Okay, we do see that price is beginning to lose a little bit of momentum as we approach that range. Okay, you can see that we are seeing a little bit more in the way of selling than we are of buying here at the moment, and we're coming up to a level that could produce. You can see here, right? It could produce some sellers here. Okay, this could be an area, right? Given that what we're seeing here to left-hand side, this could be an area where we could find some sellers stepping into this market. Now, obviously, looking at this swing, you can see that we've been in a bullish swing of late. Okay, we've broken some structure here, resistance here in our path. Okay, but now we are up against an area. Okay, I would say a rather strong area that could cause price to maybe potentially stall and reverse away from. Okay, moving down to our 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. We're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance here for a moment. We're going to take a closer look. We're kind of remove some of our drawings here. We're going to take a closer look to see what price action is doing here at the moment. Okay, so looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see that we've broken some structure here to the upside. Okay, and now we seem to be, I guess, somewhat retracing here a bit back. Okay, possibly for maybe another leg higher in this market. Okay, we got a relatively strong bearish candle here. We're starting to come back to some areas of prior what were resistant, now has the potential of becoming support here around let's see, around 21,986. Okay, it'll be interesting to see if price does manage to hold this area. Okay, if it does manage to hold this area, that could offer us maybe another leg here to the upside. Okay, this also is in the vicinity of our value area high of our volume profile here. Okay, our visible range volume profile here to the right hand side. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart, we're going to go ahead and kind of expand our view here. A lot of volume traded above here. Okay, we are in kind of another kind of pocket of volume here at the moment. We're starting to see maybe we're getting maybe some pressure here for maybe an additional move here to the downside. We made a move lower. We tried to rally and recover some of this area, but instead we've created a little bit of a supply area, a little bit of a resistance zone. Okay, right above here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this area in red. Okay, indicating that this area is indeed resistant. We've come to this area once, twice, and didn't even make it up the third time before sellers stepped into this market. Okay, so we are starting to see that maybe there is a fair amount of pressure above us that wants to take the price lower. Okay, so let's take a look here and see where the fixed range volume profile is in relation to current price action. So we're going to go ahead and locate the start of Monday session, which is back here. Okay, and drag that across to the close of Monday session right there. Okay, so you can see, right, there's a fair amount of interest in on the bearish side, right? This is the value range from yesterday's session, and folks are willing to participate, right, leading up to today's session at a premium. Okay, they're willing to participate in a downside move at a premium price. Okay, so I would expect that this area above the low end of value to be an area of some resistance here around 22,150. I would expect that this area here would be a resistance zone. We do see that it's also created a resistance area just based on price action. And then we also have value area low here. That's also has the potential of serving as a area of some resistance. Okay. So we do see that price is below our daily VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP just to get London into this equation here. Okay, so here we are. London, you can see that price is below London as well. Okay, so everything right now is pointing to the possibility of further price actions or further price moves to the downside. Now, a word of caution. Again, you know, we have been in this area of range. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that in as gray. Okay, I'll kind of fill in that in light gray. Okay, indicating that we are, you know, maybe potentially waiting for some additional guidance, some additional news to help understand or drive the markets in a direction. Okay, so until we break out of this range, either to the upside or to the downside, we have to focus our attention, I would say, at 22,115 on the high side, and maybe to the low side, this 22,017. Okay, again, similar to what we were seeing, I believe, in the gold markets, we could be participants in this market could be waiting for news later in the week that we're going to see in the FOMC before they decide on which direction that they want to take the market. So I would say that probably the best course of action here in this market would probably be looking for the extremes of this range. Okay, 22,000 does appear to be one of those such levels. We have this level, I think, that we identified either on the daily or 4-hour. Okay, this level down below here at 21,986. Okay, does appear to be another area that is supportive. Okay, so for me, I'm going to be waiting for this initial balance range to establish, understand exactly which direction do market participants want to take the market, and then decide from there whether I want to be a participant of this market or not. Okay, so headed into this session, it does appear that we are somewhat bearish. Okay, somewhat bearish. The fact that we are below value indicates that there is some bearish, a lot of I guess shorts in this market at this point. But I also understand that that given the news that we're going to be receiving here later in the week, or actually tomorrow, that we could remain in range until that news event or until that is the FOMC minutes are published. Okay. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to the ES here. We'll take a look at the ES. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. We're going to go ahead and start off with our daily chart. Okay. Again, asking ourselves the same question: what are market participants trying to accomplish? And I would say that they continue to try to drive price higher here. Okay. Similar to the NASDAQ, we are coming up into an area here above that could be resistant. Okay. We've been at this level before, around, looks like about just under, say, 6160. Okay. It's not a supportive area, but rather an area that could be potentially be resistant given the price action we've seen in the past around this area. Right, you can see multiple times that we've come to this area only to find sellers. Okay, so we have to be aware that this area could produce some additional sellers in this market. Okay, if we want to participate to the bullish side, well, we need to see if we can find some reference levels that would offer us opportunities here. Okay, just under 6,000, say this 5980 level does appear to be a nice area, to as a reference for maybe a continuation move to the upside. We have this developing area. We've just broken structure above here, say around 6050, 6048. Does appear to be another area that we can kind of lean on here a little bit. You can see that price is kind of is presently reacting away from that level at the moment. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart here. Okay, take a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, so again, we continue to make higher highs and higher lows. Price is above value. Okay, indicating that folks are potentially looking to pay a premium to participate to the upside in this market. We are above value from this visible range. Okay, you see the visible range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this on the 30-minute side and see where price is in relation to yesterday's session value. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to locate the 6:30 candle here from Monday, drag that across to the close of Monday here. Okay, and you can see, similar to the NASDAQ, that we have price below our value from Monday, okay, indicating that there's a fair number of bearish participants in this market. Okay, we had a swing to the downside here at the close of the session, and then we moved into some sort of range price action from that point forward. Okay, right now we see that price is below our daily VWAP, although we have kind of a flat VWAP here, so really difficult to arrive at what the direction here is here at the moment, because we see that price is kind of gravitating above and below this VWAP. The VWAP is, however, kind of descending, I guess, sloping to the downside, okay, indicating that maybe we will see some continued price movement here, okay, potentially to the downside, okay. We are below or just around this demand zone. And then I would say the next kind of logical place for price, if we are going to continue bearish, is this 6,050 level. Okay, this area 6,045 does appear to be kind of the next logical zone for price to move to if we are going to continue in this bearish direction. Okay, let's see. We're going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP to this discussion here from London. I always like to kind of get a sense for what London is trying to do with all of this. Okay, so you can see that London, that price is above London. So we kind of a little bit of a mixed bag of information here, right? London, we have price above our anchor VWAP, okay, indicating that there is a fair amount of interest on the London side for maybe some bullish movement. Our daily VWAP, we still have kind of a general sloping direction here, right, to the downside. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if this trend line is going to be continued to be respected. If so, then that would add further support for maybe a downside move in this market. Okay, if we manage to break above, say, 6,067, then I think we start to open up the door to revisit the highs here around 6,100. Okay, 6082, which is the low end of value, I think is also going to be an area of maybe some potential resistance here. Okay, 6,082, and then ultimately back up to the highs here of 8,000. Okay, right now I see that we're in bearish structure. Okay, so in some sort of price range. Okay, so right now I would say 60.48 is the downside. And then I would say somewhere in the range of 60.75 is kind of the range that we're in currently. Okay, so we'll have to, I guess, if we're going to play this market, I would say that we need to focus in on the edges of these ranges: 60.48 to the downside, 60.75 on the upside, and kind of work our, maybe some range kind of trades in between those two areas. Okay, all right. We're going to go ahead now and move on to the last market, and that's going to be the Dow here. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the Dow, and again, similar. We're going to go ahead and start off with a daily chart here. We're about 4 minutes away from the start of the session here, so I've already kind of identified some levels here above. Okay, we are developing a little bit of a pattern here. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Okay, so somewhat of a kind of an ascending wedge pattern. Okay, so we have this 43,000 level that continues to be an area of resistance to price. Okay, we are building a fair amount of value up above here. Okay, so indicating maybe that we are getting some acceptance of price here at higher levels. It's difficult to say. But as long as price remains below 43,000, I would say that we still are kind of at the mercy of sellers here. Okay, so looking at it from the daily perspective, it looks like we are in some sort of bullish to neutral kind of sentiment, I would say. We are seeing kind of participation, both bearish and bullish, up at these levels. A lot of overlapping candles here at the moment up against this 43,000 level. Okay, moving down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart again. You can see that 43,000 level. We're just kind of zooming in some of these candles here. The moment we've broken some structure here to the downside, that has been met with some buyers. Okay, and now we're retracing back to maybe retest some of the conviction of these buyers to see if they're going to come in and maybe potentially step into this market. I'm going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. I'm going to go ahead and add our fixed range volume profile to this discussion and see where price is, okay, in relation to yesterday's session. We'll kind of drop to this 30-minute chart here to do that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. We're going to locate the start of Monday. Okay, there we are. And then we're going to drag that across to the close of Monday here. All right, so you can see that price, similar to the other equity markets, price is below value from yesterday, indicating that we do have a fair number of people interested in this market to the downside. And as such, we should, I guess also look for the same, right? So until we start to see maybe price structure here, at least on the shorter time frame, we should be looking for maybe opportunities that would offer us maybe a continuation move here to the downside. Okay, just going to go ahead and try to draw. This looks like maybe a version of this. Okay, so we did get a break above the channel, and we've kind of reversed away from it. If we do manage to get price back inside the channel, I think that opens the door for maybe us to revisit the 42,375 level, 42,386 level below here. Okay, we do have our point of control here from this visible range volume profile. Okay, this could be an area of some support here. Okay, so we have this level down below here at 42,481. That could be a location where we could see price lead to. Okay, and then also has the potential of reversing away from. Okay, so yeah, so I would say that across the equity markets, I would say that we are somewhat at least on the shorter time frame, say bearish to neutral. Okay, in the markets, I would say that looking at this, we have 42,785 on the top end, and then we have this area here at 42,557. That is kind of serving as kind of the range for the Dow at the moment. All right, so we'll take one last peek here as we come into the close of this review. We're going to take one last peek here of the initial balance range for the gold market and see what kind of price developments are we getting here. So you can see here that we're about to close the session here, or close our. Actually, we have. Okay, our initial balance range is officially closed. Okay, these two has actually established the range. Okay, so now the question becomes, which direction are they planning to take this market? Okay, so we were in, or remain in kind of this kind of bear side structure here. We're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown to the downside. So it'll be interesting to see if this market does offer us maybe an opportunity, if that opportunity is not to the bullish side. Okay, if we can get a break above, say, 3,417, that could lead to a move to the upside. Okay, right? If we can get above this level here, I'm going to go ahead and mark that level in. Okay, so somewhere around this area here, if we can get price to break above this level, 34.17, that could lead us to maybe a possible move to the upside. Okay, as equities fall, gold generally rallies. Okay, so we're at a juncture here. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown in the price movement. Okay, and we created a little bit of a demand zone down below. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark that area here. Okay, we got a little bit of a demand area. We're gonna go ahead and color that in green. Okay, indicating that it is an area of support. So if we do manage to hold above this, say 3,400, okay, that we could potentially see another leg higher. Okay, how far could this leg go? Well, I would say that looking at this, if we could easily get back up to 34.27, assuming that we can get above this initial balance rate. So I would say that heading into the session, I would say that maybe I'm looking for maybe a little bit of a bullish move here in the gold market. I'm going to wait to see if we can get a break above this initial balance range to the upside, see if we can break above this area here that has been established here around 34.17, and that could potentially lead to a move back up to 34.24 or as high as 34.27. Okay. All right. Crude oil, again, just to quickly kind of summarize where we are with the crude oil. We're going to go ahead and take a look. Okay. So crude oil, again, is kind of, I would say, looking somewhat in range. Okay. We are at a kind of a, I would say, supportive level here below, but we're not really making any strides in any one direction. I'm looking at the series of candles here. I'm seeing that there is a little bit of a buying wick down below. We did make an attempt to go lower, but we are developing a little bit of a zone here that we have not been able to get above here. Okay, so there's the view of that we could continue higher. I would say that we need to get above 71. Okay, 71.87 in order for that to take place. And then assuming that we remain below 71.87 or 72, then that I would say that could lead us to maybe a move, maybe another swing lower, since we are on the top end of this range here. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm maybe looking at right now. As long as we stay below the 72 level, then I would say that we have maybe the potential here of maybe some downside move in this market. And then across the board on the equities, we've already kind of discussed here. Okay, we seem to be in some sort of bearish to range kind of structure here. Currently, we're in this kind of range, kind of price action. It seems like we have no real interest to drive price in any one direction. We have 22,110 on the upside, and we have, in this case, 22,016 on the bottom side. We seem to be quite content right now in remaining inside this range. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have for you guys today in this pre-market review. I would say that we need to be particularly careful with the equity markets today, given that we still have a rather big news event here tomorrow, and that could result the equities in kind of remaining in range until that takes place. Similar thing can be said for the gold market. Okay, you're welcome, Robin. All right, guys. So that's what I have for you. Don't be shy with the likes and subscribes as you find this particular session available on the portal. If you're not already a subscriber and you want to be alerted of these kinds of events in the future, don't hesitate to add yourself to the subscribe list. And again, comment on how this is benefiting you in your trading is also quite welcomed. Okay, so that's all I have, guys. So we'll go ahead and close off the session. Okay, as we close off all sessions, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent trading day, guys, and we'll talk again soon.